US approves first new Alzheimer's drug in 20 years. The first new treatment for Alzheimer's disease for nearly 20 years have been approved by regulators in the United States, paving the way for its use in the UK. Odagnab targets the underlying cause of Alzheimer's for the most common form of dementia rather than its symptoms. Charities have welcomed the news of a new therapy for the condition, but scientists are divided over its potential impact because of uncertainty over the trial results. At least 1 lakh people in the UK with a mild form of the disease could be suitable for the drug if it were to be approved by the UK regulator. The US Food and Drug Administration said there was a substantial evidence that odagnumab reduces amyloid beta plaques in the brain and that is reasonably likely to predict important benefits to patients. Controversial trial. In March 2019, late stage international trials of odagnumab involving about 3,000 patients were halted when analysis showed the drug given as a monthly infusion was not better at slowing the deterioration of memory and thinking problems than a dummy drug. But later that year, the US manufacturer Biogen analyzed more data and concluded the drug did work as long as it was given in higher doses. The company also said it significantly slowed cognitive decline. Odagnumab targets amyloid, a protein that forms abnormal clumps in the brain of people with Alzheimer's that can damage cells and trigger dementia, including memory and thinking problems, communication issues, confusion, heading in right direction. Aldo Ceresa, who took part in the trial, first noticed problem differentiating between left and right 10 years ago. After his diagnosis, the 68-year-old, who is originally from Glasgow and lives in Oxfordshire close to his family, had to give up his job as a surgeon. Mr. Ceresa took odagnumab for 2 years before the trial was halted and then had to wait for almost as long as another trial at the National Hospital for Neurology and Neurosurgery in London to begin. I am quite happy to volunteer, he says. I really enjoy this journey that I am going through, and obviously the benefits I am getting from it, which I am very grateful for. He is convinced the drug has helped him. I feel like I am not quite as confused, although it's still there, it's not quite as bad. And I am just getting that bit more confident now. Mr. Ceresa, his family has noticed improvements too. So before I was going to get something I couldn't remember, where to find things in the kitchen. That has become less of a problem, he says. I haven't caught up to that level that I was before, but I'm heading in the right direction. More than 30 million people around the world are thought to have Alzheimer's, with most aged over 65. For around 5 lakh people affected in the UK, those eligible for odagnumab will be mostly in their 60s and 70s at an early stage for the disease. We need to keep our feet on the ground. This is not a miracle drug, nor a drug for Alzheimer's, but it's the first treatment which tackles destructive mechanism in the brain that drives the destruction of neurons and makes this a landmark moment. But scientific opinion both here and the United States is divided. While some have welcomed approval, calling it a milestone for millions living with Alzheimer's, others believe the drug will have only marginal effects. Alzheimer's charities say they will be pressing for an early decision in the UK, but that could take another year. Lastly, we don't know how much odagnumab will cost. It could be tens of thousands of pounds per patient each year. And if approved, access will be limited to those who have specialist brain scans to confirm the diagnosis. Thank you.